Hi everyone, good morning. Thank you so much for being present to class. So today you will need two items. You will need your notebook to take notes, and you will need your Canterbury Tale books. Again, if you don't know where to access the book online, if you go to Files in our general page, you can find it where it says the Canterbury Tales. So as you can see in your general page, make sure that you go ahead and access the PowerPoint if you need to. I will be presenting it on the screen, but if you would like to follow along on your own, you can always click the link that's in our general page, and it should load the presentation for you. And you should also be able to see the assignment that you will have to complete at the end of class, which is Canterbury Tales, page 50 through 60 summary. Right, so let's go ahead and get ready for our presentation. I had mentioned today that I was going to be out, so that is why you're watching me through a recorded video. I will miss all of you very much, but I will be working all day. However, you can always send me messages throughout the day. Whenever I have some free time, I can reply to you. And if you have need an extra help for anything, just go ahead and let me know. So let's get started. We're going to continue with Identity in the Middle Ages. Today is September 16, 2020. This video is going to be very brief. For the most part, we're going to review what a summary is. We're going to review the plot, what plot is, the plot diagram, and then I will explain your assignment. So again, plot is the sequence of events. So if you remember, a sequence is what happens right after each other. So plot is a sequence of events that makes up a story. A plot is made out of 6 elements: exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, conflict, and resolution. So again, remember, plot is what are the events that are occurring and in what pattern are they happening, and how is this creating the story, right? We need to keep that in mind when we think about plot. Again, when you think plot, think of Freytag's pyramid or the plot diagram, right? This picture, we have seen it a couple of times with the exposition, conflict, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. And what I like about this picture that I have is that it breaks it down from what happens in the beginning, what happens in the middle, and what happens at the end, right? So as we remember, exposition is exposing us, right? It's giving us the introduction of the setting, character, and conflict. Usually during this part is when they're telling us who is the main character, who are the supporting characters, who are the secondary characters. It usually starts introducing like what is the conflict, which is the problem in the story. It starts introducing who the antagonist is. If we don't remember what antagonist is, that is the person who is going to create the conflict and is against the antagonist, right? The main character. So usually here's where we know our chronological setting. So during what time period is this happening? We also get to see the physical setting. So where is it taking place, right? And as we remember in the Canterbury Tales, it's a story within stories, right? So every story has a different setting, but the setting of the book is them traveling to Canterbury, right? Then we have the conflict, which is just another word for the problem of the story, right? Like what problem is the antagonist facing? Then we have the rising action, which is the build up to the most interesting part, right? And I put parentheses drama because it's usually where a lot of the drama or action scenes take place in the story. This is usually going to be the parts that have you like on the edge of your seat, right? The conflict has already been introduced, so then they're building up to that interesting part, and the most interesting part or the turning point is the climax, right? Like that's when something happens. Did the person go to jail? Did the person get found by the cops? You know, did that person ended up selling their business, you know, or did they end up fighting? That's when the highest point of tension, when you're just about to fall off your chair and you're like, oh, I want to know. That's where the climax occurs, right? That's where the turning point happens. Well, Ms. Nevarez, what do you mean by turning point? What I mean by turning point is that it goes, you get some kind of resolution. So something happens that changes the tone of the story. Usually the tone changes. It's very different from the rising action to the falling action. And the falling action is how the main problem is being resolved, right? So after they get caught, what happens? Do they go to jail? Do they escape? You know, that kind of thing. So remember, falling action of things falling into place. So, and then we end with our resolution. So our resolution is the end of the story, right? So this is what the plot diagram is. You might also know it by Freytag's pyramid. Just know that it's the same thing. Freytag is just the last name of the person who created the plot diagram. So again, exposition, conflict, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution. We're going to go ahead and move on. Then we're going to review what are the main elements of a summary, right? A summary describes the main idea of a story or section, right? If you don't remember what main idea, you might know it by main events. So what are the main things? What is the main message of, or things that are happening in the story, right? When you create a summary, you take all the important parts and you put them together, right, and create a summary. So these are the following elements. If you don't remember what elements are, they're the parts or the pieces that make a whole, right? So the elements of a summary are a main character. So you need to let me know who the main character in the story is. You need to let me know the setting, whether it's chronological or physical. You need to be able to tell me what are some suspenseful events. These are usually the ones that occurred in the rising action, right? That's where we have our suspenseful events. You can give me one or two. You can also give me the conflict. So what is the problem in that particular story, right? And then at the end, the conclusion, what does it end in? Remember, a summary will always, always, always have a beginning, middle, and end. If you actually look at it through the main characters, the setting, that would be technically your exposition, right? Because that's where they're exposing us. They're giving us that information about who is who, where is it taking place, what's the conflict, right? We have the conflict there too. We also have our suspenseful events, which would be the rising action. Then we have our most changing point, which is the climax. And then we have the falling action and the conclusion, right, which would be part of the resolution. So if you think about it, if you are able to understand the plot diagram, and if you are able to see those elements, it would be easier for you to write a summary, right? So it's very important for us to understand and get those things down, right? So now that I went briefly over what plot and summary is, this is what you're going to do next. So this is what you are responsible for today. It doesn't mean, well, the video's over, bye Ms. Navarez, see you tomorrow. No, this is what you're going to do for the rest of the period, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to open up your books or go and search for the file of page 50 of the Canterbury Tales, right? So you're going to open up your book to page 50. If you don't remember what the Canterbury Tale book looks like, this is what it looks like. So you're going to open it up to page 50. And you're going to start reading page 50 and you're going to stop reading at page 60. So it's only 10 pages. It shouldn't take you 2 hours, 3 hours to read 10 pages. And this is the Wives of Bath's tale, the woman's, what woman most desired. So that's what the tale is called. So if you open up in page 50 and that's what it says, you're in the right place, right? And I actually made a typo, my bad. So you're going to read the pages, you're going to annotate any important things, and then after you're done reading, what you're going to do, you're not going to complete the Castle Diary. I meant to say Canterbury Tales, pages 50 through 60 summary. So again, if you go to your general page, you're able to see that assignment right here. So you're going to click View Assignment, and then it's going to take you to this, right? And you're going to have to click this link, and then it's going to load the form. This is not something new we've never done. This is something that we've seen throughout our time, you know, here with Ms. Nevares. Again, you're going to type in your name. Well, after you've read the section, you're going to be able to fill out this form, right? You're going to be able to tell me who was the main character in the particular story of what woman most desired, right? You're going to tell me who the main characters are, if there's any supporting characters. You're also going to tell me what is the setting, where is it taking place. You're going to tell me any suspenseful events that happen, any conflict that arises, and what the conclusion is, right? If you're able to read and comprehend the story, you are going to be able to write this down. Again, number 2 doesn't have to be complete sentences. It could be phrases, or maybe an idea or a main idea that you might have, maybe a phrase, right? It doesn't have to be a sentence. But as long as you write down your main events, that's what you will complete in number 2. When we look at number 3 says write an introductory sentence that states the main idea of the summary, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to come up with the sentence, right? This is going to be the first sentence in your paragraph. How are you going to start off your sentence? It would be smart if you start your sentence by, in the Wives of Bath's tale, what woman most desired, certain person blank was exposed to blank, right? So you have to tell me who and what happened, right? And then the rest of the sentences should be able to support what that idea is. Then we have number 4, use the details listed in question number 2 and write them in complete sentences. A complete sentence must have a subject, verb, a complete thought. You may combine some of the main ideas into one sentence. Use their proper transitions. Well, Ms. Navarez, I don't know what you mean by that. All I'm asking you to do is to go back to question 2 and see what you wrote down. So let's say you wrote 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences or phrases, right? All you're going to do is rewrite these on number 4 and make sure that they're written in complete sentences. If maybe, let's say you wrote 2 phrases that can be combined together in one sentence, then that's all you have to do. As long as you have at least 3 sentences, 3 complete sentences, then it's a paragraph, right? If you have less than 3 main events or less than 3 sentences, then I will not give you credit for it, because a paragraph is at least 3 sentences, and that's me asking you for the least, right? It should be 3 more. So then you rewrite all your sentences, and you can pick any appropriate transition word. So right here, I give you a list of words you can choose, and then you just select the one that is going to help your paragraph flow more. Well, now we're going to put the pieces together in number 6, right? You're going to write your draft for your summary. So how does that work? Well, if you go to your introductory sentence, that should be your first sentence. So then you go look at your sentence in number 3, you write it down in number 6, then you move on to number 4, right? Here you already wrote all your main events, right? Or your setting, your any main ideas that you might have found in the pages 50 through 60. And then you're going to pick, okay, which sentence am I going to select next? And what transition word goes best with in between my 2 sentences? And that's just kind of how you're going to do it. Remember, it's a puzzle. So you're putting it together, which one flows with which first, which is going to make a better transition from one sentence to another. Those are the things that you need to keep in mind. And you just got to make sure that your grammar is spelled correctly, that you're using the right punctuation, and that you have at least 3 sentences. Remember, if it's less than 3 sentences, it's an automatic 0. And then at the end, you just go back and read your paragraph. Make sure that you did proper punctuation, capitalization, you check your spelling, you do transition flow, and that you indented in your paragraphs. If you have all of these things, then you click yes and you hit submit. So that is the assignment you need to have completed by today at the end of the class. And the latest I will extend it to is tonight, 10 p.m. So after you're done with that, well, is that it? It's up to you, right? I do give you the option to draw the plot diagram and fill in the exposition, conflict, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution based on the tale of the wife's bath tale, right? So what happened in that story that you can fill out the plot diagram. If you do the plot diagram, you draw it and you fill it out with all the information, you can send me a picture of your plot diagram and I will go ahead and replace one of your lowest grades with 100. Again, it's not mandatory. You don't have to draw the plot diagram, but if you do it, you get one of your lowest grades. It doesn't matter if it's a 0, it will be replaced with a 100. So I would 1000% recommend for everyone to do this. And this is kind of what I drew, right? Not my best drawing, but this is something that I would like for you to look at, right? So exposition, who are the characters, main, secondary characters, where's the setting, conflict, what is the problem of the story, rising action, what are the intense events happening, right? what events happened that were super intense, right? Your climax, what are the most interesting points? What was the turning point, right? There's going to be a point in the story where you're going to be like, oh, they came to a commitment, right? Like something happened where it completely changes the story. Then your following action is going to be, you're going to answer, how was the problem solved? What is the solution of the problem? And then the resolution is, what was the ending? Was there a happy ever after, right? So of course, yours is not going to have questions. You just have to give me those details. And yeah, that's it. So just make sure